So welcome to our week 4, all right, practical kind of sessions. So this is a group 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means they're right. So this week basically, okay, because we have some holidays during our week 3 there, right? Okay, so we can't basically go through too much on our exercise directly. So that means by this week, hopefully that you guys have been test and try to develop and also what we call that improve a little bit on your skills there according to what we actually want to develop along the way later on for your assignments there, okay? When you guys have been seeing my kind of demonstration for last Monday about our caricatures kind of assignments directly, that's basically one of the methods and techniques that if I actually work with my free hand drawing directly without any reference there, alright? So those techniques also is quite very important, especially for the graphic students to develop their skills, okay? So when I actually talk about skills, I'm not talking about the perfections of your drawings there, but I'm always looking forward to see the right way for you guys to execute your kind of drawings, okay? The right way, not the perfect way there, right? So that means when you actually can develop a proper and a right way for you guys to start with, you can basically improve more further in the futures if you really want to pursue in your illustration or your drawings kind of skills and methods, okay, for your design kind of senses there, right? So that's basically one of the most important things that I want to, the criteria that I want to see for each student when it comes to develop your skills in these illustration subjects. Not because they can draw manga or whatever styles and techniques they required want to develop for their own, right? But the way they produce those drawings, the way that you guys produce those drawings are really important for me to evaluate, not the styles that you're going to produce, okay? The style that you produce, if you can actually get a right kind of way to produce that kind of styles, that's going to be a bonus point for you, for me to evaluate more further on your skills there, right? But one of the most important thing is right now how you handling the tools there and how you develop that kind of tools the right way for you guys to develop your skill individually are going to be bring over to your better kind of results and executions there in the futures there, right? Okay, you can handling whatever things that you're going to handle later on there, okay, because you have that kind of knowledge that you bring over to your senses there, right? Okay, to your skills and senses there, okay? Not all people can draw better that can actually develop the right kind of senses there. Sometimes they always get caught into that kind of moment of one specific styles in their lifetime there, right? Okay, so they cannot actually move on further and they are going to take quite some time to move on there, right? Or to be flexible to develop other kind of styles and skills there, right? Okay, but if you have that kind of core understanding how to control the pressures really well, okay, you can develop more further in the future because you already know how to handling the tools there, right? The only thing that people always have that kind of obstacle and challenges is how to change the styles, change the way they are going to redesign some of the elements, most of the elements there. When they talk about character design and styles, that's all about those what we call the creativities that you guys can actually develop further later on. Okay? Right now, the right way to develop the tools by using the tools there. That's basically one of the most important things that you have to get used to it and to tackle basically your kind of challenges, your own self there, right? Okay, that's the thing there. Okay, this basically, right, samples were based from one of your friend kind of samples that I actually have made some demonstrations again for group 5 on Monday there. So when I actually take a look back again, what are the problems that have been faced from these students there, it's all about how they're controlling the line, the strokes, and also how they captured basically some of the details from that reference. Okay, that's basically one of the common thing happens. Okay, for example here, all right, when people draw this element of this nose there, okay, most people we draw something like this there, guys. Okay, they start to draw the nose something more, a bit more like this. I don't know why. Okay, this is a common thing happen to most people there, okay, who actually have not developed a certain kind of understanding when they draw there, okay. That happens a lot there, okay. And for some reason sometimes, okay, this is some of the sample from your friend there, okay. This is one of the example that I saw that the student itself there, when they try to add some shadings and shades there, okay, and when they try to draw according to those reference, the problem is right now the things that the person that they draw, it doesn't look alike there, right? Why? By right, you draw from those references there, right? You draw on top of those layers of those references there. But why you cannot get it right? And if some people say, oh, this is about tracing there, if you really do using the tracing kind of methods, you're supposed to get it right, but you don't. This is basically the cause of problems that we saw basically there, right? They thought they draw on top of the layers just like a tracing, but they still cannot make it right. Why? One of the reasons that I actually have seen there, okay, from the students, because they set their mind that they want to trace those photos only there. They don't actually try to figure it out how to develop the proper way to draw that subject matters according to the drawings kind of senses there, drawing kind of what we call that principles there, drawing kind of discipline there, right? One of the discipline there, right, when you draw, you need to understand how to develop the line works, the strokes, when you start to draw the subject matters over here. I don't see any kind of drawing kind of lines that properly have been done. For example, like this, in this reference, in these samples there, right? I don't see there, right? One of those great kind of what we call that samples that we have there, right? See, this kind of samples does have. This is the proper way to draw the lips there, right? Even though maybe the reference is not right for me right now, and draw the nose itself there, right? See how actually I draw the nose there, right? Proper way to draw the subject matters over here, please. This is something that you have to develop there right back again when you start to draw on the top of the layers there, right? Reference that samples that to see those reference back again there, right? Okay, and take a look properly how to draw that and construct that, and of course from this kind of what we call that experience that you develop there, right, you need to refer also some reference, okay. For example there, okay, when you want to draw these eyebrows there, for example there, right, okay, you need to take a look at some people kind of reference there, okay? Even though I actually have saw and show you guys basically how it works there, right? But if you can basically go through, okay, with some reference like this one there, right? Okay, for example here, you take a look at drawing both threads. For example, reference there. Please take a look at sample of guide that you saw from here. Even though basically this is not the one basically you actually can use as a guide, but you can actually take a look closely how people draw and construct those kind of strokes there, guys. How they develop the line work for the shadows, how they actually develop the kind of strokes, how they control the pressures, okay, what kind of what we call that elements in that particular kind of photos or reference or drawings that they actually emphasize on the strokes there, want to make it a bit more clear there, okay, and show the depths of fields there, right, on those kind of line works over there, how they draw those eyebrows there, right, all these kind of things there, okay, from those reference. You guys can take a look back again, watch them, and try to execute them, right? How they draw those structures of the nose there, right, okay, how they gather those kind of shadows there, okay, some etchings kind of lines at the same time there, okay, how they basically draw those eyes there, right, okay. So all this kind of reference, get to know and observe more on those references like this, and try to learn how to execute them back there, okay. Even though you want to draw some cartoon styles or anime, manga kind of animation kind of styles like this there, right, okay, try to get to know how actually they draw those eyes there carefully, and then you construct back again into your own drawings over here. Okay, that's basically what you're supposed to do there, to how actually they draw them back there, right, okay. Take a look, not just this simply draw them without having enough kind of reference that works. Study other people's kind of drawings there, for example, right? That's basically what you're supposed to do, not just trace them. When you think that you really want to trace only there, okay, this is what you get there, right? You not learn something from what you do there, right? You just simply draw from what you know only there, right? You not actually evolve. You not actually try to develop there, right, your skill back again. We're talking about developing the skills, not just only to execute and complete those exercises, and you can close those books and you can move further into another assignments there, and then you repeat the same mistakes without knowing what you can actually improve from there while you develop those skills. By right, when I actually write showing you guys how it works like this, you're supposed to take a look closely how actually I move around the structures, and then how actually I develop basically those drawing lines without just tracing those references there, right, okay, but how actually I draw and develop that kind of understanding while I'm drawing over here using my own kind of methods there, right. So if you cannot actually following basically the methods that I actually have shown you guys, what's the point basically I'm actually right here to show all this kind of skills there, right? Okay, what's the point that I'm going to be here with you guys to show all these kind of skills there back again, how to draw correctly there, right, move around those shapes there, the strokes there, right, to draw those kind of iris, rendering them back directly on those shadows there, on the shape itself. Try to get a right kind of contrast between the iris and the pupil at the same time there, right. All these kind of things is really important for your knowledge here. That's why we're here. Okay. All right, so Alison, are you ready, Alison? Are you ready?
Oh.
Okay, if you're ready, okay, please share your screen. So take a look, okay, the first exercise until the third exercise that we did basically for the past 3 weeks then. Okay? Okay, and then prepare everyone already to share your screens. After this, Ziken and Chin Hui, Jiachi, they're ready to work on that. Okay. So the first, the second one, they're right again. Now you can get the strokes right. Okay, good. Okay. You have that kind of skills, they're good there.
This one I haven't finished.
This is haven't working, alright, okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, in the progress, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good there, Alison. Can you show us a bit, okay, how actually you're going to draw those three?
Okay.
Especially the front one, right, okay, and the shadows there.
Okay.
Because I think that you have to reduce a little bit on the strokes. Alright. And develop basically those details there while you actually move around those kind of line and strokes there, okay, correctly, okay, according to the shadows there. I think the stroke is quite big there, okay, quite huge there, okay, for those three there. What brushes that you use there, I would say? Is it the pencil brushes? Do you have the pencil brushes there? HB pencils. I think that there's a lot of brushes over there that you actually can explore. How about those Procreate pencils then? Right. Try them the right way. Close this one there first, right? Add new layers there first. Add new layers.
Yeah.
And then try to redraw back again there, right?
Okay.
I want to see how actually the Procreate pencils are going to have those kind of effects there, right, okay, on those drawings. Okay, it looks nice there. But don't draw too fast there, okay? Control the pressures a little bit. And don't draw the outline only, okay? Try to draw those strokes there, right, okay? The shadings there, okay? Because when you come to draw, okay, this kind of drawing of shadings there, right, okay? Take a look at the shadows there, okay? Move the shadows there. Move around the shadows there when you draw the strokes there, right? So the same thing that I'm going to do, okay, if I want to draw using this kind of drawings, okay? Take a look over here. Guys, you guys can see that, right? I'm going to draw something like this there, Alison, there. See? Can you see my screen?
Sorry.
You guys can see my screen there, right? Can you see my screen there? Okay, wait up there, right? Oh, share my screen. Okay, if you check a look back again, okay, Alison there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to draw this kind of strokes for my tree there, okay? Even though I don't have that kind of reference here. Check a look, okay, this is basically the shadows that I saw from your reference. Okay, so how actually I draw them? Take a look over here. So I'm going to apply basically that kind of shadows, kind of strokes there using those three. It's not that it's quite hard there, right, to draw those three there, guys. So this is one of the way, not the only way, but one of the way that you guys can execute correctly when you draw those three, using the proper kind of drawings, and of course a reference at the same time there, okay? Yeah. You say basically draw the trees is quite hard there, right? So I'm following basically, when I draw this kind of strokes there, right? I'm basically following the strokes, the shadows kind of shapes there, right? Okay, that I actually can conduct on those kind of drawings over here. See? So they look like a tree when they draw. It has to be like a tree there, right? Instead, you draw some outline there just now, essence there, right? When you start with drawing outline only, right, you cannot get it the natural kind of looks and feel of your trees here. Okay?
Okay.
Alright? You can actually get those kind of logic there, okay, from those drawings over here. See? Now, there has to be look like a tree.
Yeah.
Alright? Instead, you draw the outline only there. I actually applied some outline line works from here because I know basically the highlights came from there, right? Okay? But not entirely only drawing outline there. A lot of people that I saw, right, okay, they only draw out an outline there. That's why your tree doesn't look natural there. They look a bit quite stiff, and at the same time doesn't look quite it's quite hard, okay, on the strokes there, right? Okay? So if I want to draw those kind of what we call that the land itself there, right? Okay? Some sort of like roots over here, I can actually draw them back. See? It's not that hard there, okay? And then I can draw those strokes, those what we call that, the rock itself there, the stones, maybe some sort of like some leaves there, right? Okay, the grass and leaves there, right? Okay. So this is a thing, guys, eh? You want to draw those trees, draw correctly. And this is one of the techniques that we actually can apply, okay? The etching technique that we can apply according to the shapes of shadows there. A lot of way also we can actually draw those trees. For example, when I draw those kind of tree log like this one there, right? So there's a tree logs over here, for example. So the shadow, the highlight came from this side, so the shadow going to fall off over here directly. So how actually I'm going to draw the patterns that actually appear the textures, okay, from those log there, okay? This is something that I can reproduce there, right? See, some etchings there, okay? So get used to it, right? Okay? To draw a different kind of methods of styles of working with this kind of strokes here. Then you will get that kind of drawings kind of way of working that you're going to get the right kind of methods that you. Sometimes I'm going to basically cross over those etchings, right, according to the areas of shapes of shadows there, right, where basically the hard shadows are going to be fall off, okay, from those surface there, right. That's what's supposed to do, okay. There has to be look natural there, guys, when you sketch there, okay. There has to be look natural there, guys, okay, when you sketch there, right. This one basically not from any reference there, right, okay, but from my observations, from my what we call that experience there, right, okay. Then I can draw some imaginations kind of drawings from here. Okay, guys, so that's basically one of the things that you have to understand there, right, okay, first of all, when you want to start to draw some things there, right, okay, especially natures or whatever that we want to draw there, right, okay, knowing basically the type of surface that you're going to apply from that drawings there, okay. If you're not actually knowing the type of surface, okay, how actually draw the structures at the same time, okay, that's why you doesn't know basically when and how to develop a proper kind of strokes there, right, okay, for different kind of surface that you're going to have there, right, okay, human face, animals, natures there, right, okay, or even though hard surface or maybe some geometric kind of form there, right, okay. So apply that kind of strokes and techniques from now on before you're going to add some colors there, right, okay, or shadings there, right, using those paint styles there. I want to emphasize on drawing because that's basically one of the core principles of illustrations. Okay, core principle of illustrations there, guys. So make sure that you guys take notes on this exercise there, right, on this kind of methods there. Try to draw more naturally, and you have that advantage that no one else have, okay. paint styles, trust me one thing there guys, everyone can paint, but not everyone can draw well. Okay, so you want to become average or you want to become unique still, okay? So apply, if you want to become unique, okay, and stand out from other people's there, not because of your paint styles, guys. Okay, you can compete your paint styles later on there, right? Okay, you can actually improve more on the paint style, right? Okay, when you get your drawings right, people will appreciate more on how you draw, because paint style sometimes nowadays there, right? Okay, you click one buttons, the illustration become the picture become paint there, right? Paint styles there, okay. People can use apps there, right? In drawing methods there, if you draw something like this, I don't know whether there is a few number kind of application that can apply the same, but they always have some artificial kind of looks from that kind of drawings that you can see there, right? Okay? Even though they look like drawings, but it doesn't feel like the human kind of touch there, right? There is no kind of unique and personal kind of touch on that kind of applications there. Paint style, yes, of course, people can actually execute there, right? That's why this is. Nowadays, if you use those applications that like Face app or whatever that application that we have right now there, right? You just click one button, you don't have to draw on, you don't have to paint only there, right? The computers, the AI can actually make for you there, right? But if you check look in those commercial, what we call the in those what we call that your curious kind of site there, right? There's an advantage and disadvantage at the same time there, right? Okay? I always talk that to the clients simple things like this. You want to have a cheap kind of design, yes, I can use these applications, but you have to pay this kind of fees there, right? Okay? You agree with it, and I don't have to do some amendment on that, right? Okay? But if you want to pay a more better kind of works directly, and they have more value on your works, for example, they write more values on your works, they write, and I have to do this kind of methods there. I have to draw back again. I have to use my skills there too, because you came over here because of my skills, not because I can do some applications kind of works there, right? So if you want to have a cheap design, I can use applications there. That's my options there. You can pay 300 ringgit, 500 ringgit for one design there, right? Okay, for example there. If you think that 500 ringgit also quite expensive, why don't you actually use those applications and do it yourself there, right? Simple as that. People looking for designers because they want some unique kind of approach from them, not because you can use the same applications there, right? But if they insist want to use applications, you give your rates there, right? You want to pay because the way that we're going to use that application also going to be different a little bit lah. For me there, okay, I always going to improvise a little bit, okay, because I want to have my touch there, right, on that kind of things there. So I don't know about you guys there, okay, how your principle of working there, right? So as a graphic design students, you must be able to have that kind of knowledge, understanding, and also your principle of thought there, right? Okay, how actually you're going to execute them there, okay, correctly. Okay, not because of your ego there, okay, but you need to value yourself there. So I'm showing you guys right now basically how you can actually add values on your works. And people saw basically, oh, you draw using computers there, right? You trace there, right? Okay, you try to draw them back. If you tell me that you trace, can you get the same results there? That's the things there, guys. People won't be able brave enough to ask you guys all these questions back again if they thought basically it's not that easy there to draw using those tablets, right? It's not that easy there, guys. So don't let people think simply basically, right? Okay, they thought it's going to be easy for you guys to work, right? It's not that easy there, right? So if you take a look right now, if you can draw the same things without any reference like me, then we can actually have more conversation from there. Okay, so I always value your kind of process of working. Okay, that's why I want to see your reference and your samples and how actually you made it up there, right? Okay. So next one, Ziken. Ziken, are you ready? Thank you, Alexander, right? Improve from there.
Thank you, sir.
Alright. Ziken, are you ready there, Ziken? Please respond. Not yet. Alright. We move into Chin Hui there, right? Chin Hui, are you ready? If you're not actually right, complete is okay there, guys. You can just show me some of the progress there, okay? The last 2-3 exercise you have complete, right? Okay. Try to draw them right, the shadings, the shadows there on those trees. I always have to check my OBS there, right? Right, good. Continue there, right? Try not to draw the outline only there, okay, Chin Hui? You saw basically just now how I draw the strokes there, right? Start with the strokes and also add some shadings on the strokes there, okay? Right now you draw in the outline there, okay? That's basically the thing that we saw from here. Okay? When you draw the outline, this is what you get. Draw the shadings on the strokes there, right? How is it there, right, Chin Hui? Why are you taking so long there, Chin Hui? Just draw them there, right? Just now you saw basically when I draw, I don't have any reference there. I just imagine the shadows there. Right? Now you have the reference with you there right now. Why are you taking so long there, right? Why are you taking so long there, Chin Hui there? Just draw them, okay? Just let it flow there. You don't have to think too much there, okay? You saw your reference right here. Just move your drawings there, okay? Shadows there, draw the shadows there, right, okay? Using the strokes, not the outline there, right? The most important thing is not drawing the outline there, draw the shadows there. And don't try to hesitate when you draw there, okay? Just let it flow there, let it move there, right, okay? Why are you taking so long there, okay? You hesitate a lot there, right, okay, Chin Hui? Why are you afraid there, right? No need to afraid to move there, just move the flows there, okay? Just like you construct those lines there, okay? Strokes there, right, okay? Make it more aggressive on the strokes at the same time there, right? I think next week when we have that kind of what we call that face-to-face sessions, hopefully you guys can see how actually I demonstrate you guys, okay, those drawings, okay, in front of you guys there, right, okay? Just draw the stroke and shadows there, right? Just draw the stroke there, okay? Chin Hui there, okay? Try to get a line strokes there, okay? The drawing etching line kind of strokes there. Instead you press the shadow, press those lines too much there, okay, from there. And try not to what we call that hesitate while you draw there, okay? Just move around the shadows there. When you draw those kind of shapes over here there, okay? When you draw the shapes of those shadows there, okay? Just move around the shadows there, okay? Draw the strokes there, okay? Just like you rubbing your kind of hands there, okay? On the surface there, okay? Okay? Just like graph kind of movement there, okay? The graph movements there, okay? Let it flow naturally when you draw that. Right now it doesn't look natural there, right? That's the things that I saw from there. Okay, for the rest of you guys, take a look closely some of those obstacles that actually you saw from your friends of the challenging that we have there, okay? So that's the things there, okay, that we have to learn from other people's there at the same time there, right, okay? How is it there, right, Chin Hui? Is it hard there, right, to draw those movements there? Chin Hui? Is it hard there, Chin Hui?
Harder.
Hard there? Why? How actually you draw then only? Okay, can I actually take a look at your previous kind of drawings there, your portrait drawings?
But one thing I'm telling other managers.
Can I saw your portrait drawing there, Chin Hui? Where is it, your portrait drawings? Have you submit them there, right? Where is it then? Where is it at Chin Hui? Your portrait drawing there. Okay, now I saw it already. What happens there, Chin Hui, there, okay? You draw those references there, right? Those drawings kind of line there, Chin Hui, okay? Those are the things there. Okay, most of it, they look a bit kind of like, suddenly they become a bit more like, can I see the reference? Okay, zoom in a little bit, right? Those reference. Right. So the reference basically that you saw right now is very clear kind of subject matters there. They have a clear kind of what we call that a reference that we have right here. So what you need to do right now that Chin Hui there, okay? Maybe later on, okay, please basically remind me back again, hopefully next week, okay, when we have that kind of sessions, okay, face-to-face sessions, if you're going to be around, please let me know there, okay, that I want to get back to you. I want to see how actually you draw, and hopefully we can actually improve more. But at this moment, please improve back again your drawings there first instead of shadings there. Okay, Chin Hui? Use back again this reference to draw back again there, okay? And take a look how actually I execute most of those drawings, line and stroke there. Okay, when you draw back again this reference there. This one submit in our assignment, in our exercise there, okay? Folders, this one submit right now, and I want you to redraw back again. Just want to improve those line works first there, right? Okay, because I saw basically when you draw those three just now, you have that kind of struggles there to draw the strokes there, right? Don't be afraid to move your hands directly when you draw them there. Whatever that you have inside your reference right now, just draw them back. The technique has to be right there first. Okay, don't afraid to move, because why you have to afraid to move there, okay? Because by right, this is the layers there. You have to draw following the layers there, okay? You draw them back only there, right? Okay, there's a difference between observation drawings and also the techniques that we are going to apply right here. Okay, submit this one first. Okay, you have submitted, right, Chin Hui?
Yeah.
Okay, good, there, right. Then we want to improve that, because hopefully the rest of you guys also have these kind of problems. You have to set in your mind like this one day, guys, okay? When you graduate, at least you know how to draw correctly. That's the things there, right? Okay. This is if you take a look right now, you saw basically, okay, when you try to paint but your line work is not right, the proportion is not right, there's no point basically going to paint there, right? So learn to develop first your drawing line. Okay, your drawing line there. Slowly develop that kind of skills, but progressively practice yourself there, right? Okay, Chin Hui, thank you very much there. Alright, thank you very much there, Chin Hui. Jiachi is here. Okay. Can you share your screen there, Jiachi, there, right? Okay, looks great there. Can you zoom in a bit there, right? What kind of drawing strokes and what kind of brush that you use for your line works there? Yeah, why basically doesn't have that kind of strokes correctly there, right? When you draw those lines there is no quality of line there, okay? Can you demonstrate a little bit there? How actually you draw them, Jiachi? Those mountains? Zoom in a little bit there, right? Zoom in a little bit. Because there is no quality of line from here there, okay? And I didn't actually draw like this one there, right? I think you have the same problems like Chin Hui just now there. Can you close these pictures there first? These drawings there, okay? Try to draw back again. Okay, you saw basically how actually I draw this kind of rocks over here. Can you close these pictures there, okay, Jiachi? Okay guys, okay, I'm actually apologize, okay, when it comes to consultation sessions like this one, okay, even though I won't be able to, what we call that, consult each one of you guys there, but hopefully, some of the things that you saw from our sessions over here, you guys can improve back again. Jiachi, can you actually share your screen back again? And close those pictures, and I want to have those reference only there, okay? Zoom in there, right? Zoom in more there, right? Okay, okay, good. All right, this one, all right. can see my screen over here. Okay guys, take a look how actually I'm going to draw this one there, okay? If I'm going to use these brushes over here there, okay, to draw them back. Okay? Take a look how actually, this is the shadows line there, right? This is a shadow shifts there, right? Shadow shifts there. When I draw them, right, see? Jiaqi and Qinhui there, right? Okay? Take a look how actually I draw them, the outline there first. Take a look closely how actually I move my hands there. Okay, this one basically are going to be the back kind of what we call that mountains kind of it's a background there, right? Okay? So the line work has to be loose a little bit there, see? Loose a little bit there, right? So this is basically what we call the quality of line that we produce on the this kind of drawings there. Okay, the quality of line that we produce on these drawings there, okay? Okay, right now if you look closely, it's going to be hard for you to separate between the shadows and shapes there, okay? So how actually you're going to execute them? Okay, take a look over here. I'm going to draw the contour line. You know the contour line, contour drawings there? Alright, the contour line there first. Okay, when I have this kind of contour line like this one here, okay, to emphasize the shadow shapes there, right? So what I can do right here, right now, just now basically I saw, okay, you draw like this and then you draw like this. For what there, right? Okay, what is this there, right? Okay? This is not basically the drawing strokes there, okay? Try to emphasize on the strokes into one single kind of directions there first. Okay, try to develop the strokes in one single directions there first there, right? Qianhui and also Jiaqi there, right? Okay, and the rest of you guys there first. Take a look over there, right? Even though I can actually draw something like this there, right? Okay, according to those lines, don't be too naive lah. Okay, improve what we call the improvise the strokes at the same times. Okay, see, but don't try to mix up those kind of strokes if you're not actually really understand how it works there first. Okay, right now, and what I'm actually working on right now, right? I only use one single stroke for shadings there. See? Only one single stroke for shadings there, right? Okay, this area is basically right, okay, I'm going to add the shadings like this one a bit there, right? See? How actually I move my hands over here on my strokes. Not press too much there, Qinhui there. I'm not pressing too much there, right? Can you see that, Qinhui? And so Jiaqi?
Yeah.
Okay. So try to develop that kind of understanding there while you draw it. Using the tablet, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I want you to have that kind of what we call that values on your investment there right now on your tablets here. Okay, take a look closely when I close these pictures there, right? See? The drawing itself there, the quality of drawings that you guys can execute in the first stage there, right? They have the value of tone at the same time that it works on that. Okay? That's one of those things that you have to go through there. But you have to be, and one of the things that I saw from most of the new generations nowadays, you don't have any patience there to wait. You want to become good at what you do there, okay? Right now, when you actually look back again to your efforts there, okay? You spend how many years here? How many years there, right guys? If you don't have patience there, okay, to wait, you have actually developed your kind of learning experience for almost 1.5 years, I think. Okay, 1.5 years there, right? You think about, did you make money or not on during the process there? Not yet, right? If you have made money, there is good there, right? Okay? But if you don't actually make money, okay, just wait to develop the skills there. Later on, when you work outside there, you're going to have the same obstacles there, guys. If you venture to other kind of fields there, right, like marketing, for example, there, right, or working with some of those insurance, for example, then you need to have some efforts there. And some more, you have to meet other people's there, right, okay? And you have to meet also some of those annoying kind of clients sometimes, right, okay? And your level of passion and patience are going to be tested all the way there, right, okay? That's why whatever that we're going to do, always put some passions on your kind of process, right? Because your parents have, for me, right, when our parents have been invest a lot of money, maybe for example, right, on things that you've been working on. Okay, if I want to add some shadings over here, a bit more huge, I can adjust the size, okay? So I'm going to circling around the shadows, see? Circling around and move the shadows like this one, right? Shadings there, right? Yeah. So when we think about, we have our parents have invest a lot of things there, right? Make sure that all that kind of investments, you put your efforts in that. I will willing to share with you guys, okay? Can you take a look there right now? I'm shading a bit more huge areas there, okay? From here. It's all about skills there, guys. It's all about develop back again your skills there. The technical kind of advice, okay, you guys can learn from computers there, right? Right now, the value of your kind of skill that we put into these kind of methods there, okay? Those who cannot actually draw well before this, when using your traditional methods there, right? Now, you can actually improve back again your drawing skills using basically those Photoshop right here. Okay, that's the things that we want to add those values right here. All right, Jinhui and Jachi, try to work on that from now on. Okay, try to improve back again these drawings that Jachi there, okay, and also Chin Hui there, okay, and the rest of you guys there, right? Because if we don't actually improve correctly, okay, next week's kind of assignments are going to be hard for you also, and the rest of you guys there, right? Because the criteria of this, all of this exercise and our assignments, right, is all about how you draw correctly. How you draw correctly, because you're going to graduate, guys. You are the final year students, and you are going to be graduated, right? I don't want you guys to graduate just simply just using whatever that apps that you have been working on right now, right? Okay? All those final year projects you design logos or whatever that, okay? I want you have more from that, okay? From what you have been produced right now for FYP, we want to have more value on your results there, right? When you graduate, like some people graduate, just take those certificates, right? Okay? Where's value of your works there, right? So please be more focused on that particular exercise. I didn't ask you guys to draw perfectly, but I want you guys to draw correctly there, right? Not perfect, but correctly. I didn't draw perfect drawings there, but correctly done there, right? Okay? Alright guys? You understand the Jachi and Jinhui?
Yeah.
Alright, draw correctly from now on. Alright, thank you very much there, Jinhui there, and also Jachi there. Okay? Tigru, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, improve there, okay, Jiachi there, okay, right now, engine 3. Don't just wait there, okay, for us to work there, right? Alright, take room. You may actually share your screen. Alright, work on it, right? On those line works and also shadings there, I want to see that. Right now what I saw basically only your line works there, but no shadings on the strokes. Try to draw some shadings there. I take you instead of your line works only there, right? Okay. Try to mix them up around the right on the shadings there. Be brave to make mistakes there, guys, okay? When I actually done a lot of my drawings, I made a lot of mistakes there. I don't worry about that kind of mistake there, but we learn from that. Okay? When you move the strokes there, okay, always learn from that mistakes there, okay? What are the things that you saw? Try to detect some of the mistakes from there, okay? That's the things there, guys. Yeah. It's okay to make mistakes from there, okay? Move into more horizontal, what we call that, horizontal kind of directions there. Oh, sorry, yeah, horizontal kind of, what we call that, movements instead of diagonals there, right, again. Take room. What is it there, right? Verticals there, right? Okay, this is verticals there, right? Vertical kind of movements there. From top to what we call that, bottom to top there, right? Okay, those movements there. Yeah, right, okay, and then change a little bit according to the level of tone from the shadows that you saw from the pictures there, right? How about the vertical kind of movements there? Not zigzag there, right? Okay? The vertical kind of movements there, right? Okay? Up and down there, right? Okay? Those kind of strokes there, right? Now it seems like you don't have that kind of directions there back again. You lose your directions there, right? Never lose your directions there, right? Okay? Draw from top to right, top to bottom, bottom to right, okay? To top back again, right? Okay? The movements like this one there, right? Okay, when you draw those strokes there. Try. and based on the structures of those trees, when you move the strokes there, right, the structures of those trees there, the shape, the strokes there, right, okay, the structures of your surface there, okay, we move the strokes according to those structures there, right, okay. Yes, right. Try to get used with the strokes at the same time, and try to get to know about the structures there while you draw directly. It takes time there, guys, okay, but you need to enjoy the process of developing the kind of line and strokes, okay. That's how basically you get used to it there. Yeah, right, okay. I think, yeah, the more basically you evolve your time with your drawings, okay, you might going to have that kind of thinking process during the development, those kind of strokes there, okay, and hopefully you guys can actually get used more and more from there. Try to love more drawings other than paintings, guys, because if you check look back again, if your drawings good, your paintings are going to be look better also, okay. But normally when your drawing sucks, your painting also doesn't look right there, right, okay. So they're going to be a little sloppy, look a bit more like dirty there, right, okay, and you doesn't have that kind of directions of shades and shadings correctly there, okay, because your drawings basically is you have a weakness on your drawings there, right? So the key point of how actually you're going to execute correctly on your illustrations, your digital illustration directly, it's all about the key point is all about drawings there, please. Okay. Alright, okay, Tigru, thank you very much for your demonstrations there. Hopefully you can actually get more patience to develop more further, okay. Try to execute correctly at the same time there, right? Thank you. Alright, Wei Cheng, are you here?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much there, Tigru there, right? I don't think that we actually can go through all of you guys, and the rest of you guys I'm going to take a look back again next week there, right, okay, on our face-to-face sessions there. Alright, Wei Cheng, are you ready?
So it's like a minute.
You cannot share your screen, is it? Can you share your screen?
Try it now.
Okay.
Can see.
Okay, looks okay, direct. Can you share just now, direct? Why cannot share that, right? Wei Cheng, just now I saw your drawings there.
Sorry, sir.
I cannot see your screen sharing. Where is it? Your screen sharing there just now, right? Wei Cheng? Okay. Some of the strokes is quite very thick directly on the line directly. So make sure you cover basically the shadows areas there. Some of the line works from the bottoms directly on those logs is quite okay directly. Yeah. Try to zoom in a little bit directly when you draw them. Yeah. Then you will see more clear how actually it works there, right? All right. Okay, one more thing that I saw from most of you guys there already, when you want to draw this reference, when you start to draw this using this reference as a part of your drawings, what we call a reference there, right? Why basically you don't actually change your pictures into grayscale kind of tone? Because if you saw from those grayscale kind of tone there, right, okay, pictures there, right, you will see more better on the level of tones of shadings that you want to apply on your drawings there. Unless you want to do some paintings, that's of course you have to refer from those coloring kind of reference, right? But right now you want to practice the tone, the level of tone there, right? Some people, most people cannot actually identify the proper kind of tone when they see in colors there, right? That's why you change into grayscale. I don't know why basically you don't actually change into grayscale kind of tones there. Most of you guys there, right? That's all. That's why you get confused. I think one of the things that you get confused when you draw the shadings right now, because you don't see the level of tone right here. Okay, Wei Cheng, change into the grayscale kind of tone first on your reference. You know how to work on it, right? Okay, good, all right. quite good there, right? Okay. Okay, Wei Cheng there, right? Okay. I can saw basically you slowly develop that kind of growth of understanding there, right? Thank you, Wei Cheng there, right? Thank you very much there, okay, for your contributions. Can we go back into just now, who is it? Ziken or Chin Hui there, right? Ziken there, right? Are you ready there, Ziken? Can you show me basically your samples only there, right? Okay. Ziken, are you ready there, Ziken? You still here there, Ziken?
Yes.
Ziken there, right? Ziken. If Ziken is not ready there, right? Okay. We go to Yiting there, right? Yiting.
Yes.
Okay, share your screen.
Can see. Can see.
Okay. Alright, okay. Looks okay there, okay, on the strokes there. Even though it can be improved a little bit more further there, right? Alright, looks great there, right? Okay. Yiting, can you actually share your portraits kind of drawings there, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Can you share your portrait drawings there?
My trade not yet done, still progress.
The portrait there, right? Can I see there, right? Those portraits? It's okay if you're not actually complete there, right?
Okay, wait.
Mm-hmm. Where is it there, right? Eating those portrait there, right? I want to see those portrait there. Just want to see how actually you works on it.
Sir, can I show it later because I can't open my file.
You can open your files there. Alright, it's okay. Alright guys. Okay, thank you very much for your contribution, okay, the rest of you guys, okay. So I really hope to see all of you guys been working on the okay, but I'm going to double check that again. And next week's, even though I'm going to do some demonstration in our lessons, right, in our sessions there, right, but I'm going to take a look some of you guys over here. Hopefully we can meet each other right in our what we call the face-to-face sessions there. I want to see how basically you develop that kind of software. Hopefully you guys can actually improve from there when we actually get the face-to-face kind of sessions there, okay? All right, so if you want to record the sessions, or maybe sometimes I'm going to ask some of you guys to record basically my demonstrations during that kind of sessions, okay? Hopefully we can actually upload and take a look how actually you guys been working on and can improve later on in the future there, right? Okay, jokes on that. Okay, so thank you very much for your contribution for this week, for some of you guys there. We don't know what happens to Ken just now there, right? Okay, I really want to see his demonstrations there, right? And hopefully we can actually see each other next week there, right? Okay, try to take a look our brief, ask any questions there, right? Okay, and of course our replacement class, I'm still basically need to inform our administration for those for the new schedules there, right? Okay, so we just have to wait for the systems to update directly later on there, guys. Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys, okay, maybe the replacement are going to be on Tuesday or maybe Friday there, right? Okay, depending there, right? Okay, because that's the only day that I can actually have a free time there, okay, to work on that. So just wait for the system to update. Okay, don't ask me basically when, basically. Okay, normally we're going to update you guys on the systems there, right? Okay, we cannot just simply do our replacement without the acknowledge and also the formal kind of what we call that proper kind of what we call that channels on those systems there, right? Okay, so we need to wait for the administrations to release our date there. Okay, so thank you very much for having me today, and good luck for your exercise and your short assignment, and take care you guys. Okay, and have a good weekend at the same times, and also take care and good luck also for your FYP at the same time as the process of working there, right? So thank you very much guys. Okay, so have a good day, have a good lunch at the same time there. Okay, I'll see you guys around there. Okay, bye bye. If you guys have any questions, I'm going to be here there. Okay, you can ask any questions you want. Okay, all right guys. Welcome there, right? Ask any questions that if you want there. Okay, I'm going to be around here.